to my home. My name is Kathy, and in today's video I'm going to be making some ketchup. Now, I've been wanting to make this for quite a while, but this is the first year I've had enough tomatoes in my garden to actually be able to can some up as tomatoes and salsa and have enough left over to do ketchup. With the tomatoes from my garden and then a few that I picked up at the store, so I didn't have any paste tomatoes in my garden this year, so I did supplement some paste tomatoes from the store, some Roma tomatoes. This recipe is from Sarah over at Living Traditions Homestead. She says it tastes like Heinz ketchup, and I'm going to trust her on that, and I really hope she's telling the truth because I love Heinz ketchup. So let's get started. In my roaster oven, I have 25 pounds of tomatoes, and to that I'm going to be adding 3 cups of chopped onions. Now I'm using this medallion chopper. This works great. See, it has the measurements right here on the side, so it makes chopping and measuring really easy. There's 2 cups. Get those added in. And whenever you're making a dish that calls for onions, don't throw away your onion peels. Save those, put them in a Ziploc bag in your freezer. And then when you want to make any type of a stock, whether it be a chicken or a beef stock or a turkey stock, you just pull those out and use those skins right in with your stock. It gives your stock a beautiful color, and there's lots of nutrition in the peels. And that's one less ingredient that you have to buy when making stock. Okay, there we have it. Okay, so there's our 3 cups of onions. Now I'm going to go ahead and turn on my roaster so I can start heating up. So we want to get all of that cooked down. So now to this, I'm going to add 1/4 cup of pickling salt. Now 2 cups of sugar. And this is just raw cane sugar. And in this bowl I have 2 1/3 teaspoons of garlic powder, 1 teaspoon of black pepper, 1/4 of a teaspoon of celery seed, and a half a teaspoon of dry mustard. And those are going to go right on in. Okay. Now our last ingredient is vinegar. It's 3 cups of vinegar, and what I have here is a cup and a half of white vinegar and a cup and a half of apple cider vinegar. So that's going to go right on in here. Okay, well those are all of our ingredients. That's all there is to it. So I'm going to give all these ingredients a good stir. Now I'm going to leave this on about 250, and I'm going to put the lid on it. And then once this is everything started to heat up and the onions are starting to get soft, I'm going to take the lid off, turn up the heat, and let it boil down. So I'll go ahead and bring you back when we're ready to turn the heat up on this. Well, it's now the next day. I didn't have time to finish making the ketchup yesterday, so I left it on low at 200 degrees all night long, so it just slow cooked all night long. And now I'm ready to remove the lid, and I'm going to turn up the tomatoes and get rid of some of this juice, or the liquid. I actually need to get rid of quite a bit of liquid, so I'll just leave this cooking on high with the lid off, and I'll bring you back when we're ready to blend it up. Okay, so the tomatoes have been on a high boil for about 4 hours. As you can see, they're nice and thick. So now the next step is going to be to blend them up. Now I know that, I've seen where people have used a Vitamix for blending it up. I don't have a Vitamix, I have a Ninja. So I'm going to try this. I'm hoping this is going to work. If not, I may have to run this through a food mill. I'm hoping I don't have to do that. I'm hoping that the blender will blend up all of the skins and seeds and everything and make a nice smooth ketchup. So let's give this a shot and see what happens. I'm not sure if this is going to be thick enough after blending, so I do have a stock pot on my stove in case I need to move the mixture to that to reduce it down a little bit more. Okay, let's see what happens. That's nice. Very good. I'm going to blend it just a little bit more. going to reduce it down just a little bit more. So I'm going to go ahead and dump this into my stock pot and get that on the stove simmering. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and get the rest of this blended up and on the stove. Okay, this is the last of the ketchup. And this Ninja worked perfect for blending up all the skins and the seeds. It did a phenomenal job. So now I'm just going to simmer these pots to reduce the ketchup down a little bit more, make it a little bit thicker. And then I'll taste it and see if there's anything else I need to add to it. I'm thinking it might need a little bit more sugar, but I want it to reduce down a little bit more before I make that final decision. So we'll go ahead and just let this reduce down, and I'll bring you back when it's time to can it up. Okay, so our ketchup has reduced down, so it's nice and thick. I did end up adding another cup of sugar, so I did a half a cup of sugar in each pan. And then I also added a teaspoon of cayenne pepper. So I put a half a teaspoon of cayenne pepper into each pan. And now it's perfect. It tastes really good. And I don't know if I needed the extra sugar because I'm just not used to the taste of homemade ketchup, or if it's because I used garden tomatoes and also some store-bought tomatoes. So maybe the store-bought tomatoes didn't add enough natural sweetness to the ketchup. But either way, it tastes great now, and so now I'm ready to get it canned up. So I'll bring it in close, and we'll get that process started. Okay, so I'm just going to take a hot jar out of my canner. Now I am using my pressure canner today, but I'm using it as a water bath canner because it's a little bit bigger, so I'll be able to fit more jars in it. Now to use my pressure canner as a water bath canner, I won't be using the weight on it, and I also took out the pressure plug because that's what the instructions for my canner said to do when using it as a water bath canner. Now I will be filling the jars up to a 1/2 inch headspace. Fill my jar, I'm going to debubble it, check my headspace, I need a little bit more. Okay, that's perfect. Make sure I don't have any air pockets down there. And take a clean rag, wipe the rim. Put on a new flat. Ring on finger tight. And now this is going to go right in the hot water. fill the next one. A little much in that one, so we'll take a little bit out. There, that's perfect. Debubble it. Wipe the rim. Put on our lid, finger tight, and into the hot water. Okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and finish filling the rest of the jars. Once all of my jars are filled and in the water bath canner, I will make sure there's an inch of water above my jars, and then once it comes up to a boil, I'll be processing the jars for 25 minutes. Processing time for ketchup is 15 minutes, and because of my altitude, I need to add an additional 10 minutes to that time. So I will be processing these for 25 minutes. And once they're done and I'm ready to pull them out of the canner, I'll bring you back so you can see the final product. So there we have it. We got 15 pints of ketchup out of 25 pounds of tomatoes and some extra ingredients. I hope you liked today's video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to my channel, and make sure you hit the bell icon to get notified each time I put out a new video. Have an amazing day, and we'll see you in the next video.